Hey guys, it's Randy here at etrailer.com. We've got a few minutes and we wanted to take a look at the Thule Range and see how it's going to fit on your 2016 Acura MDX. Now, basics on the Range to start with. This is going to be a hanging 4-bike style rack. The benefit that we get here that we don't often get with other hanging racks is that this one has been designed for use with motorhomes. So any RV type that has a motor and is drivable, we can use this on. So that's going to work out really well for going on a camping trip and we want to take our bikes along with us, or if it's just some guys or gals loading up in the car to hit a local trail. It's going to give you some good adaptability there. Something else I like that kind of sets this one apart is going to be our cradle spacing here. This is about 7 inches on center versus a lot of other hanging style racks. Those are going to be closer to 5, 5.5, or 6. So in those situations, we tend to get a little bit more contact between bike to bike. You know, if they're sitting a little bit closer, there's a little bit more interference. Each of the cradles is going to have a nice soft strap to it, rubber lined on the inside to protect your bike's finish, just like the cradles here. They're also going to have a couple of grooves that go in there. It's going to help out with shifter cables or brake cables if we need them. And that can give us some dampening from the road shock. As these go down the road, they're going to vibrate a little bit. Also included with the rack is going to be a lock. You see this we can bring back over our bikes. It's going to fit in right back here. Now that's something we don't often see on hanging style bike racks, so it's a nice feature to have. There's also a lock on the anti-rattle bolt, which we'll show you in a minute. So not only are we able to keep the bike secured to our rack, but also our rack secured to our vehicle. And that's going to store right in that center mass. We don't have to worry about misplacing it, losing it, or maybe leaving it behind. Each of the cradles uses a push button release here. And then as we pull them tight, kind of like a cam buckle. It gives us positive clicks in each position. That's about max extension, so you can see even with bikes with really large top tubes, this is going to be a great option for you. As far as holding the bike in place, we've got 3 of those straps and cradles we just talked about. We've got 2 here on the top, and we're going to have an anti-sway cradle down here on the bottom. That really eliminates a lot of that front to back movement. It's going to prevent our bikes from making contact with each other or keep our bike from swinging up and hitting the mast on our rack. To release them, just like any of the other ones, push in and start to pull up on it. That's going to bring it out. Push up here. And then our anti-sway cradle. Generally, I will put my bike on there. I put these 2 in first, and then I'll use my anti-sway cradle after that. It's going to be up to you. Now, when removing bikes, especially bikes with smaller frames like that, sometimes we run into interference from the anti-sway cradle we just talked about. These are pretty compact when it comes to anti-sway cradles, and I like that because in most situations you won't have to remove this strap and store it, but you can if you need to. So we'll pop that strap out. It's got a couple little clips in there that hold it. Then we can pop that in and store it. When we're ready to load up our second bike, we'll bring it down. We can put our strap back in. Something I'd recommend if you're going to be in the habit of doing that, or if it requires you to get your bike loaded up, just leave it kind of in the middle spot there. You don't have to click it all the way in. It'll make it a little bit easier to get in and out. As far as removing the bike, we'll just bring it on back. I'll set it aside. Now we can get a measurement. Basically, we're going to measure from the outermost edge of our vehicle to the end of the arms here. That's going to give you a really good idea of the distance you're going to be adding. Looks like in this position, we're going to have added about 41.5 inches or so. But something I like about this one, even though it is RV approved, we still have the ability to tilt these cradle arms down into the stored position. It's not something we always see, just a quick and easy lever here. Lift up, allow that to rotate down, and you'll hear that nice loud audible click indicating that you've got it secured in the proper position there. It looks like there we're going to reduce what we've added down to about 12.5 inches. That should make it pretty easy to get in most parking spots, parking garages, or even park it in your garage overnight without actually removing it from your vehicle. Let's also take a look at the closest point here. Looks like coming right off the bumper. Closest point's going to be right in here, which is about 5.5 inches. But that anti-rattle bolt that we have right here prevents any in and out movement of this rack. You can see if I shake the rack, there's no movement at the actual connection point. It's just the back of the car shaking. That provides a really good ride for our bikes and keeps your rack from shifting side to side and transferring that energy into the vehicle where you might feel it. Now, this does not tilt away. That's extremely common on just about any RV approved bike rack. We don't have a pivot point down here. That's what gives us enough structural integrity to be used on a motorhome. So just keep that in mind. Now overall, I really like this bike rack. I like that the locks are included in there, just something to keep in mind. If security isn't the highest thing on your list, but you want an RV approved bike rack, this would still be a really good choice. Thule does a lot of testing on their bike racks to make sure they're of exceptional quality and they're going to last a really good long time. So if I was in the market for a 2-inch RV approved bike rack, this would definitely be on my list. Now we do have some footage of this going out through our test course just so you can get an idea of how it's going to act in kind of real world situations. So take a look and see what you think.